Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
The latest round of winter weather dumped plenty of snow on areas of KELOLAND.
That led to homeowners stepping out into the cold and snowy conditions to shovel and snow blow their sidewalks and driveways in hopes of staying ahead of the accumulating snow.
The beauty of probably most neighborhoods are we all help out each other, and that's what we're doing.
According to the city of Sioux Falls, sidewalks need to be cleared 48 hours after snow has stopped falling. Meanwhile, plow drivers are working around the clock to clear the streets in Sioux Falls. It's all hands on deck with close to 200 people supporting efforts to clean the streets of snow.
From plow drivers to mechanics to support staff, the city street department is working in shifts 24 hours a day until the roads are clear. Operations manager Dustin Hansen says there's one thing people can do to help out.
If you can get those cars off the streets, get them off the streets, because what we're seeing is cars are getting stuck throughout the city, outside of the city. It's not safe. Just stay home if you can.
Once the city plow drivers finish clearing the emergency snow routes, they'll move into the residential areas. Reminder that snow gates become less effective with more than 8 inches of snow, so homeowners may have to clean up the ends of their driveways. As much of a mess as it is in Sioux Falls, many rural areas of KELOLAND are dealing with even more dangerous road conditions. While the Interstate 29 opened back up last night from Sioux Falls to Brookings, the conditions are still poor.
Moody County Sheriff Troy Wellman says even with the interstate closure Tuesday, some people still trying to get around using county roads.
The mentality of, well, I'll just take a back road isn't necessarily the best, because they're going to have less plows on it than what the state roads do. And if the state road's closed, then that means stay put where you're at, not try to go around it.
Take a look at what Interstate 29 looked like yesterday evening on a DOT camera in northern Moody County. It's covered with snow and ice. Some areas in Moody County received up to 19 inches of snow.
Now let's get a check of our current conditions with meteorologist Brian Karsten. Still a little snow out there, Brian.
Yes, we're not entirely done yet. We've got a little more on the way. Nuisance type snows today, though, so winter weather advisory is in effect for the East counties, shaded in blue. That does include Sioux Falls, Yankton, Mitchell, Marshall, and Worthington, and it goes all the way to the Twin Cities. Basically, the thinking is an additional 1 to 2, maybe a little more than that in a few spots. We'll get to those predictions coming up. Let's quickly recap this system. A lot of snow. Sioux Falls, the total as of midnight, storm total is 13. And again, with the anticipation of a little more, we're not quite done yet. 17.5 in Mitchell, 26 down in the Armour, Lake Andes area, over 2 feet of snow. That's a lot. We've got a big list here, too. Alexandria, 20 inches. Pickstown, 19. Trent, 19. Winter, 16 inches of snow. They are now running a 30-day total closer to 45 inches. That's a lot of snow. Well, we need a break. We'll get that today. Western South Dakota, even sunshine, mid-30s. Rapid City, we'll talk about the rest of your weather in a few minutes.
Thanks, Brian. Tuesday's snowfall added some extra challenges to farmers caring for their livestock.
Charles and Jessica Liesinger say they haven't experienced snowfall like this ever at their farm just outside of Bridgewater.
I really expect this much snow. I mean, obviously, if they set a foot of snow, that's going to be enough. But I'm guessing we've probably had closer to 18 inches by now, which it doesn't matter either way. A foot's a lot of snow or 18 inches is a lot of snow.
Not only is this a lot of snow, but Liesinger says many producers also lost some of their windbreaks for their cattle during the derecho last May, so the livestock does not have as much protection from the strong winds. The Minnehaha County Highway Department says a snowplow operator has died.
Authorities say the worker was clearing highways and helping a deputy when they suffered a medical emergency. The plow operator was taken to the hospital but died as a result of the medical emergency. Watertown police are trying to figure out how a man died over the weekend.
Authorities say they were called to a home in the northeast part of town for a man who was found dead outside. So far, police say there's no foul play suspected. The victim's name has not been released. Investigators in Vermilion are looking into what sparked a fire in the northwestern part of town. The Vermilion Fire EMS Department says crews were called to an area of Baylor Street just after 2:30 Monday afternoon. Firefighters arriving on scene found smoke coming from a garage attached to a home.
Crews were able to stop the fire from spreading to the home. However, the garage and 2 vehicles inside were destroyed. No one was hurt. The Red Cross has been contacted to help the family. Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin is still in critical condition after suffering a cardiac arrest after a tackle on Monday.
Medical crews administered AED and CPR for around 6 minutes before Hamlin was transported to the hospital. Dr. Tom Stish with Sanford Health says the blunt trauma from the tackle caused his heart to stop.
When the heart stops pumping, blood pressure drops. That's a fatal event. So it is very safe to assume that that would be the most common cause of an athlete collapsing, ventricular arrhythmia leading to collapse of the cardiovascular system.
Stish says the AED was crucial in keeping Hamlin alive because the machine shocks the heart back into rhythm.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, weather today, winter weather advisory in effect for the areas in blue. Basically, this is just kind of a continuation of the issues from yesterday, plus a little new snow, maybe an inch or two of that accumulation, plus some wind, 15 to 30. So you can still get some movement on that snowfall. Obviously, anything there just kind of complicates things a little bit. It's not exactly smooth sailing, but Futurecast is illustrating this. Take a look at the snow moving back in from Minnesota. This is what we call the wraparound moisture from these bigger areas of low pressure, and it does really show up there at 11 o'clock in Sioux Falls, and examples even through the late afternoon, it's still showing up as some snow. So let's consider that. I think overnight, trends are finally clearing out for this system, and we'll be off and running into some quieter weather. Although a little colder, some of these overnight lows will get quite chilly, especially Friday morning. A lot of single digits out there. There's your new snow graphic. Again, Sioux Falls, about 1 to 2. Seems appropriate. Brookings also in that range. Marshall might be a little more. There's, of course, more as you head into central Minnesota yet today. So keep that in mind. I know many of you are busy moving snow, and a lot of these plow operators give them plenty of space to work and do their jobs. And, of course, we will be in the thick of this for a little while as these temperatures here in the 20s today. That northwest wind will be 15 to 30. As we look ahead toward tonight, weather-wise, it's looking pretty quiet. 9 degrees in Huron, 8 degrees in Watertown. They've had about a couple of inches of snow out of this so far. And looking at tomorrow's weather map, 19 degrees in Aberdeen and 30s in the west. It looks like Sioux Falls after a dip Friday and Saturday, we should be back to the 20s into early next week. And that, right now, I think probably settles out as a pretty average forecast for this time of the year. Looking at Aberdeen also, no mention of big storm tracks. We're going to be in the mid to upper teens, and I would say 20s for highs early next week. Pierre also will have a tendency to warm up a little bit. We're going to still be probably below the averages to start, but at least right now we're going to avoid any major talking points for inclement weather. Rapid City, 42 by Sunday, mid-40s possible at the end of the 7-day forecast. Check out more details with your weather online at KELOLAND.com.